Hi everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Natalie. If this is the first time that you're watching my videos, thank you so much for being here. I hope that if you enjoy what I do and share here on this channel, you can subscribe and share with your friends. In this video, we are talking about this upcoming week astrology forecast, and we'll end the video with a collective message through tarot and oracle cards. This video, we are talking about January 27 to February 2nd of 2025. The purpose of this video is to provide you what is happening up in the cosmos, because as above, so below, we can feel this energy. How can we work with them? And if there's anything we need to pay attention to. So just look at this video like a weather forecast of what might happen. Does it mean that you will feel everything? No. But it is always good to be aware of what might be happening. You can experience it. People around you can experience this energy, so we can learn to work with the energies instead of against it or unaware about it. So let's begin. On Monday 27, Mercury is going to enter Aquarius at 6:53 p.m. Pacific time, or January 28, 10:53 a.m. Hong Kong time, so adjust the time according to where you are in the world. Mercury in Aquarius is probably one of my favorite Mercury transit because it always feels very fun, experimental, a little unexpected, but in a more curious way. It can also be a little bit of innovative, brainy, and just interesting conversation period of time. That's how I find it, but we all feel this energy differently. Aquarius is eccentric and is curious, is always wanting to learn, but also share and reflect on what is learned and how we can tweak it, how can we better it, how can we innovate and maybe turn it into something else. It is always looking towards of how we can turn it to something that can contribute to the greater good. It is innovative. It can be a little bit out of the norm sometimes, but sometimes we need that energy in order to call in some new ideas, creative inspiration, and so on and so forth. So during this Mercury in Aquarius period of time, you might find yourself having some little like-struck moment, aha moment, realization. Some creative juice might come in. You might suddenly come up with this interesting idea, creative project idea, and so on and so forth. And during this transit, we are encouraged and being invited to share, to brainstorm, to bounce idea off each other. You might find yourself doing that more often. You might find your people around you, hey, you want to talk about this? Hey, you want to do this? What do you think of this, right? Or vice versa. And you might meet interesting people or have interesting, unexpected conversation more often during this time. So I always see this as fun, interesting period of time whenever Mercury is in Aquarius. It's also a great time to experiment, test something out. So if you are in a business and you want to test out a new product, new strategy, do like a little taste test or whatnot, right? You want to implement this new change and see what happens. This is a great time to do so. You want to brainstorm new ideas with your partners, your people you work with, your boss, your co-worker. Great time to do so. So use this transit to also perhaps research on things that spark some joys, or this creative idea came in, let me explore, let me talk to people. Maybe some people share the same idea with you and able to bring it into the reality, or soundboarding idea with each other and see what comes up. Maybe you guys will create something new, so on and so forth. So it's always interesting. Let me know how you experience this energy below too. And right after Mercury enters Aquarius, it will conjunct Pluto. So this can be very serious, very not always. It can be a bit deep and dark for some people. This might be a day where you find yourself having some deep conversation, therapeutic conversation, right? Maybe this is a day, and since they're very close to each other, I would say this energy will probably be felt the first half of the week. So the first few days, you're probably feeling this. Maybe you want to schedule your session with your therapist, your healer, astrologer, whoever that, your coach, or so on and so forth. Or maybe this is having a conversation with your trusted people in your life, right? Expressing your point of view, exchanging points of view, and so on and so forth. Pluto associated with power, right? So this can definitely be the first few days of the week. Maybe you are having some serious conversation with your boss, co-worker, people you work with, or somehow there's some kind of power dynamic that is happening between the two of you. Maybe this is to settle something. Maybe this is to try something out. Maybe this is to express your point of view, get your point across, and able to resolve something, heal something, or so on and so forth, right? And collectively, we might see some jarring, shocking news that in the beginning of the week that might shake us up a little bit. And it, since it's about power, this can be news around how power is being used, being viewed around the world. I know this is a very crazy time that we're living in. So watch out for the news. There might be something in the beginning of the week. On 28th, I want you to make a mental note, because today Venus will be entering its pre-shadow period of the Venus retrograde journey. So if you watch my videos before, whenever a planet goes retrograde, I always say this is a 3-part journey or 3 phases. So the pre-shadow is the phase 1, and the actual period of retrograde is the phase 2, and we have phase 3, the post-shadow energy. So take a mental note and see from this day onwards until Venus retrograde, which is going to be March 1st or 2nd, depending where you are in the world. So between now and beginning of March, this is the pre-shadow phase of Venus retrograde. So take notes of all the Venusian stuff, because chances are you might begin to see something that you might have to come back and rework, reevaluate, and adjust, and so on and so forth later on. Or things that are happening during this pre-shadow phase might come up during the actual retrograde period to ask you to, maybe there's something you need to redo, reevaluate, and all the REs, right? Like readjust and, revisit, and so on and so forth. And when it is about Venus, it's about our relationships, right? It doesn't limit to romantic, all kinds of one-on-one close relationships. It talks about our values, right? It talks about money matters. Venus associate with the feminine energy. So this can be the feminine population in our world, and in the world, in the collective, right? And Venus have this very special and unique cycle that every 8 years it retrograde in the same sign around the same degrees. So you can think back 8 years ago, that will be 2017. 2017, around this time, end of January, Venus also enter its pre-shadow energy. And I do recall some very important things happen around women, around women rights, right? When it comes to our bodies, right? Our autonomy, abortion, right? All the different genders, right? Issues around that, the Me Too movement, the woman strike, and a few more that I can't think of on top of my head, but you know where I'm heading. These might come up again, and we already see some shocking news that surrounding these theme come up, right? If you watch any news, you might picked up on it already. This might come back, but retrograde is telling us that, well, if that happened before, and this time around, how can we do it better? How can we achieve better results? How can we rework, reevaluate, readjust, revisit these topics and make it better, right? And in your personal life, you can think back to 8 years ago, 2017, end of January, you know, and the next few months onwards, because Venus will retrograde beginning of March. Beginning of March. Oh my god, I'm like so done with Mars retrograde already, seriously. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, this Mars retrograde is cray. Anyway, come back. Yes, so you know what I'm trying to say. So take a mental note, you know, start paying attention and see what is happening. The actual retrograde will take place March 1st, 2nd, and we'll definitely talk more about it. It's going to retrograde in the sign of Aries and Pisces. So what houses are ruled by Pisces and Aries in your natal chart? Those are the themes and topics that might come up for you personally as well. So pay attention. We'll continue to talk about it, but I just want you to know that on 28 onwards, we are in phase 1, the pre-shadow energy of Venus retrograde. On January 29, we are having our Aquarius new moon that is happening 4:36 a.m. Pacific time or 8:36 p.m. Hong Kong time, so adjust the time according to where you are in the world. This Aquarius new moon is happening at 9 degrees 51 minutes in Aquarius. This is the first Aquarius new moon that coexists with Pluto and Aquarius, because like I said, this year onwards we are having full force Pluto and Capricorn. Is never going back to the previous sign. We're working with this energy the next 20 years. So this is the first Aquarius new moon with the presence of Pluto in the background. Not close enough for a conjunction, but definitely feeling it this time. So this is like the curtain is being lifted, and we will be working with this Plutonic Aquarius energy in the next 20 years. So let me know how it came up for you, how it comes up for you later. By the end of the week or so on and so forth. You know, this is going to be new for all of us. So see what comes up during this new moon for you, and share with me if you want to. This new moon, like I said, coexists with Pluto. Not a really tight conjunction, but Pluto is there. So in some way, this new moon can feel a bit deep and cathartic and transformative for some of us, right? We did have that Sun Pluto conjunction that we just had last week, and it might reveal a lot of things for you in your personal life, definitely in the collective, about maybe perhaps some power struggle or power dynamics that is taking place in your life, right? This can be revealing themes and topic in your Aquarius house for you to be aware of, that you might be working with in the long run. Again, not that everything will come up during this one new moon, but this is kind of like opening that Pluto and Aquarius journey for you in the next 20 years. And they might come up little by little, and there might be twists and turns along the way. So see what comes up for you during this new moon in some way, shape, or form. I feel like this new moon in Aquarius with the presence of Pluto is really letting us know the importance of being in community with each other, because Aquarius is about the collective, is about the power of the collective, right? And this new moon with the presence of Pluto is maybe reminding us that the the importance of being in community, whether this is just within your own little own circle of people in your life, you know, your family, your friends, your tribes, people around you, but also on a bigger scale as a collective, because whether you believe, whether you think that is true or not, we are one together, no matter how where we live, because what is happening in one place definitely have a ripple effect that will directly, indirectly affect the rest of the world, right? Sometimes it feels very far away. It feels like you don't feel the effect, but they do come up, right? Like the war that is happening in a place might not affect you directly, like you are not in the zone, you're not seeing, but you are in some way, because the ripple effect from that war can manifest into many different things. The pollution, the affecting the climate change, right? Our emotional health, our physical health, things around the world, and the awareness, it creates awareness. And this new moon is kind of the beginning of that, reminding us that we are actually in community with each other, whether, you know, like I said, small or big groups, you know, around the world, we are in community, to remind of our power, that we are so much stronger than we think we are, and we can definitely help each other out. And it is important to do that, because together we create the changes we want to see in the world. Maybe not right away, slowly but surely. And this new moon also is having a trine with Jupiter in Gemini, which in some way echoes what I just said, to invite us to envision what we can do as a collective, right? What do we want to build for ourselves in the future, for each other? What kind of world do we want to live in, right? Jupiter is expansive, is asking us to envision, to see the bigger picture, right? To dare to dream of a future that we want. And in order to do that, we do need to dig deep and look within. Pluto, dig deep and look within what is really happening, face the truth and face all the struggles, because through that we also know what we want and how to do it, how to change it, and so on and so forth. So in some way, I do really like this new moon. It's really nice, and this also marks the beginning of Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year always take place and when we have that Aquarius new moon. So hey, if you didn't like how this year started with the Gregorian calendar year, there we go. We have another way to celebrate a new beginning, new year. Use this Aquarius new moon to sit with the energy and ask yourself, what kind of future do you want to build for yourself, for the collective? How can we work together? How can we achieve that? Maybe this is first by being aware with what is happening, you know, find the people that share the values, and how can we work together to achieve that in the long run. Shortly after the Aquarius new moon on the 30th, Uranus station direct. So Uranus is going to station direct at 23 degrees 15 minutes in Taurus at 8:22 a.m. Pacific time, or 31st, just after midnight, 12:22 a.m. Hong Kong time, so just according to where you are in the world. For the outer planets, sometimes we feel those energy more intensely during the station. So that is why I always mention when they station direct or retrograde. So this week we are seeing a lot of out of the blue thing with Mercury in Aquarius, with this new moon, with now Uranus station direct. So we might be heading to a week where there might be a lot of what the if moments with our personal world or on a collective level, whether this is news, things that are happening in your life, so on and so forth. So be aware of this energy and be mindful, and just remember to take care of yourself during this week when we are walking into all this energies that can be a little bit surprising or unexpected, right? Uranus is that expect the unexpected energy. So let's see what comes up. Around this week, there might be a moment of breaking free and liberation for some of us, right? Especially if you are feeling this energy, if you have planets or point that is aspecting this 23 degrees in Taurus, you might feel this more. There's something that you might be working with, that you might experience some kind of breakthrough this week or turning point. So see what happens for you. Lastly, on February 1st, we have Venus conjuncting Neptune in the sign of Pisces at 27 degrees. So this can be very beautiful, but with a bit of cautious energy. So hear me out. Venus in Pisces is lovely. Venus is exalted in Pisces. So this is a beautiful transit in many ways. When Venus aspect Neptune is always dreamy, romantic, artistic, imaginative, creative. So this can be a day where you really enjoy yourself doing all the Venusian stuff. This can be a great day to go on a date. This can be a great day to hang out with your loved ones. Go visit art galleries, enjoy a movie, enjoy music, go dancing, go drawing, have a creative day, have fun, enjoy yourself doing all the things that brings you joy, indulge a little bit, And this can also be a day if you are in the creative industry, you might experience some creative juice coming in. You might suddenly have this idea, inspiration coming in. So keep your notebooks handy. Venus and Neptune coming together can also bring in this feeling of not able to sometimes to see the boundaries and being a little over idealistic in some way, shape or form. So you might have this feeling of, oh my God, like I have this dream about, what I really want, being in this moment of bliss and feeling all these beautiful things, or on the state of what you want to manifest or desire in life, but also knowing at the same time that you're not there yet. And this might cause a feeling of hopelessness in some way, shape or form. And this can sometimes, people do feel like that, and it can really affect them in a way that might be less healthy. You might want to escape. You might feel like you are heading a downward spiral of feelings or emotions. You might feel overwhelmed and you want to escape that. And sometimes people escape through substances, alcohol, drugs and stuff like that. So whenever Neptune and Venus comes together, I also want to always say be mindful with the indulgent escapism, that tendency. It can lead to overdose, overuse of substances, alcohol, drugs. So be mindful. If you might feel this energy or people around you might have this tendency, take care of them, be aware. Sometimes during this transit we can be very in our like la la land and we fail to see the red flags. So this might be in relationships, right? You might be wearing that rose tinted glasses today and fail to see the red flags. So be mindful with this energy, but nonetheless, enjoy it in healthy capacity. So now let's take a look at our messages here. From the tarot card, we have the Devil, we have the Hermit, and the Ace of Wands. So these cards are quite powerful, and it really speaks to that Plutonic energy that is being very present with us this week. And I feel like, again, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Some of you might feeling that there are something that is really coming up for you to really look within. This might be some power struggle dynamics that is happening in your life, whether this is between your boss, your co-workers, your elders relationships, or this might be between friends, between siblings, between whoever, right? And this is coming up, and for some this might be a repeating pattern that you see in your life that might not be the best, but at the same time you also don't really know or want to let go of it because this brings in familiarity, right? And this is something that you're working through. These might be coming up for you during this week with maybe perhaps the Sun-Pluto conjunction we had last week. Maybe it's the Mercury in Aquarius bringing up, maybe this is that new moon with that Plutonic energy in the background. But nonetheless, these other themes might come up for you, and it is okay. Just know that they're not here to sabotage you, right? Only if you choose to let them to. But instead, look within and see why are they coming up. Maybe there's something you need to work with. Maybe there's something you need to revisit. Maybe it is here to allow you to seek maybe healing, to do something about it, right? To heal it, to talk about it, to make amends, or vice versa, But if those themes do come up, they come up for a reason. So be curious and go within, see why is it coming up, because when you can work through it, it will lead to something better. It will feel better, and it will move you towards to something that is more aligned. Maybe perhaps now that you can work with this pattern that is repeating itself, you can really start healing it, start working on it, and it can lead to some new exciting opportunities. When you break through, this might lead to you finally trusting yourself that you have everything within you to start that creative passion or creative project idea, or that relationship, or that job, or leave that job to do what's more aligned with you, your energy, what you're passionate about. So this can come out in many different ways, but these are just some of the example, but that is what I am seeing for some of us. And from the Moonology, we have 2 full moon cards. One is full moon in Aquarius, be real, and the other one full moon in Sagittarius, see the bigger picture. Interesting how we do have the Aquarius new moon this week, and it is trining Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, which is in Gemini right now. So this is interesting. I feel like this, for some people, this card can be a timeline, because in 6 months we will have our full moon in Aquarius during Leo season. So perhaps for some, whatever is coming up for you to work with, to resolve, to start looking within towards, for you, you will be continue to working with whatever is coming up, or whatever you're starting, beginning, whatever is happening this week, the next few months, and you will reach some kind of result, breakthrough, turning point in 6 months when we have that full moon in Aquarius as well. Lastly, our oracle card 32, there and now. Yes, I love that. This is a great reminder for all of us, no matter what is happening, be here right now, right? Because there's no point in looking into the past. There's no way you can change it, and you can certainly cannot change anything right now if you keep looking into the past and wondering about the future. You have to be present with what is happening right here, right now. And there's a lot of green in the background, which is being true to yourself. Look within your heart space, what is really happening now within, right? And this little girl is sitting on top of an egg. The egg symbolize creation, right? Symbolize something that you can birth. It is like that clean white slate that you can make it whatever it is. So if you want to do something, if you want to start something, if you want to heal something or whatever it is, there's really no point in dwelling the past or wondering and stressing about the future. You have to focus on the here and now in order to do so. 32 also breaks down to a 5, which means changes. So in order for change to happen, you have to be here now. I hope this message helps. Again, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I hope one or more messages or things that I share is able to help you move through the week. And if you are interested to work with me, I offer all kinds of astrology, tarot, akashic record readings, and consultation. I also do distant Reiki energy healing. If you're interested, contact me. My information are in the description box. Follow me over on IG as well. And in the meantime, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.